Is Oregon State Hospital just like a horrible place? Oregon State Hospital is called a hospital, but do they treat literal diseases there? Oregon State Hospital is primarily uh, housing, imprisoning, effectively, people who are either civilly committed, found guilty except for guilty except for insanity, and aid and assist, people that are supposedly being restored to competency to stand trial. I would encourage you to go on Google News and just search for Oregon State Hospital. Like I do that, and I see headlines about a family suing OSH because they say their family member was being tortured there. And torture is in quotes. Yeah, it's not good. Like, there's never really good headlines about Oregon State Hospital that I can personally see or find. And if they are good, they're probably propaganda and filled with distortions based on my personal understanding of what happens there. And the insanity defense should be outlawed. The insanity defense corrupts our medical systems that treat objective medical diseases, and the insanity defense corrupts our legal system by either, at least according to psychiatrist Thomas Szasz, torturing and abusing people who are being subjected to psychiatric quote unquote care, or by excusing individuals who engage in crimes. So if somebody engages in crime, they're pretty much objectively uh, verified to have done the crime, but then they're either found not competent to stand trial or found guilty except for insane, that are diverted away from the criminal justice system and brought into the quasi-medical psychiatric system. So yeah, I do see this as problematic. And yes, I was influenced heavily by psychiatrist Thomas Szasz and his writings. Dr. Szasz was a professor emeritus at a university in New York, SUNY, SUNY. He wrote books like Insanity, the Idea and Its Consequences. So probably not a lot will change until more people wake up to how the insanity defense and psychiatry both corrupts the treatment of objective medical diseases and the science of objective medicine, and how the insanity defense also corrupts our legal system if we want to live in a society with just laws that are enforced in a just way. So I think it would be interesting if people in the CSX community, and CSX is Consumer Survivor X Mental Patient Community, just started looking at all the different state hospitals where all the aid and assist stuff happens, and where all the people, who have successfully utilized the insanity defense go. I think it'd be good if those just got exposed. And exposed, I mean just like critically analyze the headlines about them in the news. They're all, according to psychiatrist Thomas Szasz, they're basically all rat traps. And, psychiatric coercion is medicalized terrorism, according to psychiatrist Thomas Szasz. And I'll say that again. Psychiatric coercion is medicalized terrorism. And psychiatrist Thomas Szasz says civil commitment and the insanity defense form the foundations of psychiatric slavery. I'll say that again. Civil commitment and the insanity defense form the foundations of psychiatric slavery. So help to expose psychiatry, critically analyze what happens at Oregon State Hospital and other, quasi-government institutions that utilize psychiatry as an instrument of state forcing coercion. Psychiatrist Thomas Szasz advocated that we have a separation of psychiatry and state, and we should indeed have a separation of psychiatry and state. So yeah, look up what happens at state hospitals and, psychiatric hospitals ran by state governments, or, controlled by state governments, or utilized heavily by state governments. Look up what happens at them. Critically analyze what happens at these institutions of coercion and confinement and force and non-consensual psychiatry, psychiatric coercion. Expose it, share it, critically analyze it.